Love the freedom in the. Got the bald eagle.
Oh, the bald eagle, the
flag.
American flag, all that stuff.
Love it.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Moments. Pretty psyched. This is actually the first episode recorded currently, where I'm having a guest over, and I'm pretty psyched about this. I'm pretty pumped. So, you want to go ahead, give yourself a little introduction?
Yeah, let me put that down. What's up, everybody? My name's my government name is Humberto Magaña Cepeda. I'm a local here in Modesto, California, born and raised. A lot of people know me as Beto, or my Instagram, Life with Beto. Well, I'm excited to be here.
I'm pumped. So little backstory here. The way that we kind of got connected, everything is through our friend Josh.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've met since then, like in person.
No, it was all kind of just me swiping up on you, or you replying to my stuff on Instagram. But it was more or less just through social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember that day. It was a shoot for his brand. It was a gym shoot, and I was excited. I was like, it was a gym shoot. He was telling me, yeah, this guy, he trains, he does events and stuff. But that shoot was crazy. Those pictures came out pretty dope. And I started following you. I started seeing what you did. You're a triathlete. You did. You went. Did you go to Italy? Or going to?
I'm going to Italy.
You're going to Italy. That's crazy. I was like, wow. But yeah, just the motivation that this guy puts out on his Instagram, the discipline he has, working, the hours that he works, still putting time into the gym, time into this podcast. I was like, man, this guy's it. I gotta follow this guy. I gotta see what he's about.
Nah, you give me way too much credit there. But no, same likewise with all the stuff that you've been seeing. I don't know if you were as active in the gym before that shoot per se.
Kind of. I wasn't. I was pretty much in the middle. I'd say still beginning, middle phase of my gym fitness journey. And I was barely starting getting into like gym content because at the time I was kind of like, I don't want, like I was telling you earlier, I don't want to record, but now I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care. It's like I'll be in that over shirt off, my chi-chi's out, my pants out, flexing. I do not care. But it's confidence I got from the gym. I like to tell people that's what it gives you.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that sense of confidence because you're working towards something. So at that point, you don't care.
I think, what was it, a couple months ago you competed your first powerlifting meet?
Yeah, April 1st was my first meet. It was crazy. I got into powerlifting the beginning of this year because I started going to the gym, not last year, but the year before in December. And it was like, it's cliche. I got my heart broken. I need to go to the gym, get my mind off of it.
The foundation
of every gym guy right now is like, oh, the gym. Yeah. Like, so I got into the gym. I was 285. Let myself go extremely bad. So I was like, man, I need to get in the gym, get my mind off things. Was going hard. I was doing 2-a-days, just lifting crazy. I've been active. I used to play sports in high school, played sports before. I knew how to lift and everything. It was just, everything kind of just had to come back to me.
Yeah.
So I started getting into the gym, started eating a little bit better than I had been. And then from there, a year later, I got down to my lowest was 220. But then a year later, I was like, okay, this is boring. I hate coming to the gym now. It gets to that point where you lose that motivation. It turns into discipline. Cliche thing people always say. And then I was like, what now? What's next? Like, I need a purpose to come because that was always my thing. I lose that focus when I don't have a purpose because it's just like, now I'm just coming here. It's like a chore.
Here.
It's a chore. People always say, oh, it's a lifestyle. Like, yeah, it turns into a lifestyle, but then again, it turns into a chore. So I told myself I need to get into a sport, whether it's bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever it is, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I met, protein. I met this guy early on in my journey with the gym. His name is Gio. He's the owner of Gorilla Compound.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wear them all the time. Gorilla Compound, I met him January, like not even a month into going into the gym. I bought one of his hats, talked to him. He's like, yeah, man, like I used to power lift, I used to bodybuild. He does CrossFit, has his own stuff. And he was just like, if you ever have questions in getting into it, let me know, hit me up. And I had that in the back of my mind at the time when I started thinking, what now? So, reached out. I was like, hey, man, like, I remember you telling me if I ever wanted to get into powerlifting to hit you up. And he's like, yeah. And then he told me about the USPCL, which is the federation that I lift in. There was a couple different ones. Excuse me. And signed up. I was like, he's like, the next meet is in April. I think I hit him up December, January. It's like, boom, I'm going to sign up. I'm just going to sign up. I'm not going to, like, go try and win. Like, I'm just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are you bringing the mic a little closer?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
You're good.
So that was that. I signed up. Now, back to the grind, back to having that purpose. I didn't have a coach, so I kind of just winged it. It's like I'm just on you like Instagram. Like, okay, how do you deadlift for powerlifting? How do you properly squat? But then, so I was going to the gym, lifting heavy every day. Don't do this. Do not do this. Do not lift every day because it takes a toll on your body. I've learned this the hard way. I upped my protein. I started eating more. I wouldn't say I upped my protein. I just started eating more, a dirty bulk, if you could say. So I was like, I need to get to 240 because I was 220, but I was kind of weak. So I was like, all right, I got to bulk up. I got to get some strength. So I was lifting heavy. I was eating a lot. Come April 1st to the meet, I'm so nervous. I was like, I get to the meet, I'm like zoned in. I'm like, yeah, like I'm here. I'm gonna get shit done. And I still remember it was funny. I walk up to Gio because Gio was there. He's like, what's up, man? You excited? I was like, yeah. He's like, what time do I get ready? He's like, relax. He's like, you got all day. Like they haven't even got through half of the first heat, like the first section of lifters. Like we got time. Like we're kind of behind. So I was like, all right, cool, for sure. I go sit down, get some food. I'm chilling. I'm watching people lift. If you've ever been to a powerlifting competition, it's pure energy, bro. It's
just
like
electric.
It's you're in there and you just hear people, let's go. Like I'm just like, and I'm sitting there like, I want to lift. So I get up, I go to the back. I'm like, I have my singlet on, and then I start warming up early on. Gio sees me and he's like, relax, just don't warm up yet. And I'm like, really? He's like, so I sat there. I was just like, at that point, my nervousness went away, and I was just like eager, like let's do this, let's lift. Time comes, I lift. It was amazing. It's a great experience. The people, the culture of powerlifting, the people, the community, it's bar none. Like these people are more than willing to help you out. They give you tips, different walks of life, just people wanting to do the same thing you want to do, is lift heavy. I went into this competition not thinking I'm going to win. I just came to have fun. Went through the comp, was sitting there at the end doing awards, and they're like, all right, 240 pound weight class, first place, second place, third place, Beto Magaña Cepeda. I was like this. I was like, and they said my name. I was like, what? I was like, hold on, what? So I went out there, got my thing, and I was like, I won. Like I got something.
Yeah.
I didn't get first, but I was like, I got something.
Yeah.
Wow. Like I just came to have fun. So that gave me that, like the shark with blood. Like, ooh, I can do something. I can get first. So that kind of threw me into gear with like, all right, now I got to get a coach. Now I really got to hone in on technique, form, all this stuff that I wasn't paying attention to. But yeah, that's my journey with like powerlifting. It grabs you. As soon as you get that first meet in, you get that energy, it has a hold on you. But it's amazing.
No, that's fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Like I I know what I do right now is mostly endurance stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of like the focus or the base of almost all my training. But at the end of the day, I've always explained this. Like, there's no better feeling to me than like just going in the gym and lifting heavy shit with your friends.
100%.
Like, people go on all day. I've never gotten runner's high.
Right.
I don't think it's real. I think it hurts every second that you go outside and run. But there's just something very special about the gym,
right.
which is also, to go onto your story, like that intimidation that people feel, especially I think like powerlifters and bodybuilders get it the worst rap for it of being like, oh, they're just like meatheads or douchebags or whatever. Right. And it's like
roid rage, they're on gear. Yeah.
But you don't realize like they're like some of the nicest and kindest people. I can't say how many times that I've just gotten tips from somebody because I'm like, I don't know how to do this, or they see that I'm like visually confused or struggling, and they're like, hey, like let me give you a hand.
Yeah.
And it's never been like, oh, I lift more than you, so let me show you can do. It's literally been like, oh, like you need help. It's like, please.
Please. No, for sure. And that was the thing, because like when I was in the gym before powerlifting, before thinking about powerlifting, I was just I was lifting, trying to lift heavy, but I was like, I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know. I've been into like multiple car accidents, and years of playing football. My back is. I have an old man back. That's what I always tell people. I have the back of like an 80-year-old. But I remember, was it like 2019? I legit jumped up and down. I think I bulged a disc or like herniated a disc or something like that. And I remember the doctor saying, like, yeah, you need to take it easy. Like, you can't be doing anything strenuous, this and that. Pretty much in my mind was like, you need to stop working out or stop doing this or whatever. It's like, and I had that in my mind for a while. I was like, I gotta chill, gotta relax. And what happened was I got lazy. I was like, I can't do anything with my back. And I was like, man. But it's all about, biomechanics of your spine, making sure you're doing stuff safe. Because, yes, you can lift heavy, but do it safely. Don't be dumb. You can ego lift, but to an extent. Like, people always be like, yeah, ego lift, because that's how you get big. It's like, yeah, but you don't want to hurt yourself even more. Mm-hmm. But, powerlifting, the community is just, like I said, it's bar none. Like, you have people that are in masters, which is like kind of like the older, not to call people old, but older people. Yeah. And then you have the juniors, then you have open, all different walks of life. Like, I met Ramiro. He's in masters. This guy's solid. He was lifting heavy weight, for his age. And then I forgot the interaction to where we started, like, I asked him something. I was like, hey, can you help me out? I was like, yeah. And then throughout the whole meet, giving me tips, hyping me up. He opened the salt for me, like, just being there, like, being cool with me. And then he introduced me to his brother-in-law, I think is what he said, Apex Fitness. He goes to Barbell. Introduced me to him. He was cool. Adam is another guy that I met at that meet. Max is another person I met at that meet. A couple different people that I felt like when I was at the meet, like, I was kind of like sticking next to them because they're giving me tips, hyping me up. And you'd think, these people don't know me. They don't know who I am. Like, this is my first meet. I don't know anybody here besides Gio and his people, like, his, crew. So that was like, okay, yeah, this is dope. Like, I went into it thinking, like, all these people are going to be mean. These people are not going to want to talk to nobody. They're just dialed in. But, yeah, and like you said, going to the gym, lifting heavy, nothing like it. And for guys, I mean, for girls probably too, but the testosterone that you get when you're just you do a PR, you lift heavy, you're like, yeah, like, oh, I just had sex and I love it. Like, that's how it feels like. Like, you're like busting the nut.
It's like fucking the Arnold thing, where it's
like, you get the bump, and when you get the bump, it feels like you come, and when you're in the gym, you come, and I come at home, I come at the gym, you come all the time. Like, it is literally, because then you even get the after effect of, oh, I came, now I'm tired.
That's gonna be a reel. I'm just telling
you. 100%. It's all good. Arnold, love you, man. Pumping Iron. If you've never watched that, if you go to the gym, if you've never watched Pumping Iron, you need to reevaluate.
It's free on YouTube.
Yes. It's a documentary about bodybuilding, about Arnold. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Columbo, right? No, not the. What's his name?
What is it, Franco?
Franco Columbo.
Yeah. We're gonna fuck this up. We're gonna look like dickheads now.
We're gonna look like dickheads, but the dudes in that movie, sick. Like
Solid.
you just solid. Just watch
And
that
they all
movie.
have the '80s porn stash.
Yep, they all, and then just
Stringers and short shorts.
Arnold.
Squatting 400 pounds for like 20 reps.
yeah, chilling. Arnold was a dickhead. He was like, these guys suck. I'm the fucking best. Yeah. He's like, I have my stogie smoke. Where yeah, he's on that level, but there's nothing like it. And then runner's high, I've heard that before. People are like, yeah, you get. Oh, fuck that. I'm fat. I don't run. I barely get on the treadmill. And even when I do, it's just like I'm on incline walking for 30 minutes. The whole incline thing.
Something funny that my lady brought up to me is whenever I go into the gym to lift weights, I always do 10 minutes on the treadmill, get my body moving, warm up. I will not go over that time. I will always try to undercut it, not go over that time.
Right.
And she's like, you do, like, races that take all day. Like, you do this. I was like, doesn't mean I fucking want to.
You think I want to
go in
this?
there, lift weights, and know that I look like a douchebag.
Right.
That's okay.
Yep.
Because I'm doing this for me and you. But I'm like, no.
So you think I look like this running? No.
No, I was like, there's intention behind it,
Yes,
right?
100%.
But kind of speaking on that, like you've had what I'd say is like a pretty great transformation over the past like 7 months now.
Yeah, it's the beginning of this year. I'd say about the beginning of this year.
Because we did the shoot in October. No,
September. Wow, memory bad.
it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a long while. I still remember how I looked at that time. I was still kind of forming my body. But yeah, because I got down, like I said, I got down to 220.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the way I looked, but I was like, I'm not big enough. Like I look big, but I look big in the wrong place, which was my gut area. Like like my chest, I got formed, but it wasn't big. Like I could see the definition.
And your posing got a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Because like, and people, it's funny because I always got shit for it. It's like, why do you pose in the mirror? You act like you're a bodybuilder. It's like, I want to see how this looks. I want to see how this is working. Like that's how you do it. You don't just stand there and like, all right, yeah, I see it. No, you gotta pose. You gotta flex the muscle. You got to flex. And I always got shit for that. It's funny. Like, and even when I'm in the gym posing, like I'll see people staring. Like, and I've seen a couple like people that are at the gym. They look and they laugh. Like dudes be laughing. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I was like, I will outlift you. And but I don't have that mentality. I don't care about that shit. But yeah, I didn't like the way I looked at 220 because I was like, I need to bulk up, get more muscle mass, so that way when I do get back, when I want to cut again, there's stuff there to cut. Because I think what a lot of people fail to do is they get into the gym to lose a bunch of weight, and then they look unproportionate. Like especially heavier people, they lose all this weight, they get flabby, stuff like that, and and then they have to bulk up to fill in that. So I remember when I got into it, I didn't go straight to cardio. I didn't go straight into like, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. I was like, no, I'm just going to lift. Like I want to, again, get my mind off of things. How do you do that? You put yourself to pain. You lift heavy. You just in there lifting. So in doing that, I still sweat. Like I was drenched. I would like wring out my shirt. I was drenched because that's how like hard I was going. But then in these past 6 months, it was more, okay, I know what I want. Like I know I want a bigger chest. I know I want my shoulders. But then it kind of contradicts like the whole powerlifting thing because like they don't care about that. They just want to be strong. They don't care about your shoulders. You don't care about lateral raises. I don't care about curls. That's what my coach tells me too. Those accessories, I do not want you doing them. And like right now, I'm not really doing that stuff. I'm kind of just focused on compound lifts, and then my 3 lifts are comp. But yeah, like that's what I was doing. I was doing a lot of bicep curls, shoulder lateral raises, trying to focus on the accessories to build them. And that's the thing. Like even when, or again, referencing Arnold, you want to fix something, you have to fix everything. You want big shoulders, all right, cool. You're gonna have big shoulders. Now you're gonna have small arms.
I think that's something that I get a lot from. I'll just say like my bigger clients that are trying to cut down, and they're looking to lose like 50 or plus. And a lot of the times you start to lose the weight around the shoulders, maybe around the arms, the legs get firmer, and you notice that. But then the midsection, they're like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Like, it's gonna take time though.
100%.
And mostly especially the males, but patience.
Yeah.
Like that's where like the dedication to the craft really starts to come in. And the whole, I guess, conversation about, like you said earlier, it's like, oh, it's a lifestyle. I always agree. It's like, yeah, fitness should be a lifestyle, but there's a difference between having fitness be your lifestyle and having fitness be a part of your lifestyle, right? Because if you're someone that everything that you do is surrounded by, I have to go to the gym, then you have to understand that that's the life you're chose to live, right? But you can have your entire life surrounded by also, I want to feel healthy, I want to feel good, I want to look good. And you start to incorporate all the stuff in that, and that's kind of where that balance lies. But like you said, where people, they're like, I want to lose as much weight as fast as possible. They make that lifestyle. The gym is absolutely everything.
Everything, yeah.
And then that's where I see a lot of the burnout. So watching your progression over the last half year or stuff like that, I've really enjoyed, because I've seen you like go step by step, slowly go into it, not just turn into like a cardio bunny and be like, I'm gonna run around.
I started posing my ass like, yeah, I got a fat ass now. Like, nah, yeah, for sure.
But I've really enjoyed your progress, especially because like I watch your posing videos and I'm like, okay, let's see what I can see. And I've seen like the definition. A lot came out of your arms and chest.
100%.
A lot came out of your arms and chest very fast. But it's been really cool to see.
I appreciate that. Yeah. That progression for me too is like when I see it, when it comes to like posting, I'm gonna get into this. When it comes to posting, again, you get shit when you get into social media. When you post, I used to get like, why do you post so much? Why do you like? Do you care what people think? No, you even said this. I do not give a flying F. I try not to curse so much. I don't care what people think about me. The reason I post is so I can go back and be like, okay, this is what I looked like 6 months ago. This is what I look like now. I was like, oh, well, then just do that on your phone. Just keep it on your phone. I was like, I might as well post it. And then, funny enough, I got off of Instagram for a while. Had a couple people hit me up. Hey, did you block me? Or what? Are you not on Instagram? Or what happened? And I was like, no, I'm taking a break. Like I get overstimulated sometimes. I need a break. It's like, oh, okay, for sure. And then like, a couple people, hey man, hope to see you post soon. You motivate me. And I was just like, me? Like what? Me? I just post for me. Like whatever. And I told my girl about this. I told her at the time we were just friends, and then now we're dating. At the time, I told her, yeah, like, had a couple people hit me up about it, and it felt weird. And she told me, she's like, you gotta realize you probably influence people to go to the gym. You probably inspire people to go to the gym to get into what you're doing. So, like, yeah, when you get off of social media, those people that are waiting for you to post, like, they're probably like, oh, he's not posting. Maybe he stopped. Like, did he give up? And it's like, I never looked at someone like. It was like, oh, am I an influencer? I never wanted to be an influencer. That's one thing.
I hate that word.
And people, that's what people tell me, oh, you're an influencer. No, I just post for myself. Like but it does come to a time where you have to realize, yes, I do have an influence on some people. Not to say I'm this big fitness, I'm not Alex Eubank or Trend Twins or any guys like that. But yeah, like when it comes to posting, that's why I do it, like to see, like, because like how you say, you've seen it throughout. And so have I, because I go back and other people see it. So when you tell me stuff like that right there, that even motivates me even more. Like, all right, I got to keep going, because I got people seeing what I'm doing, and they appreciate, and they, like you said, you see how I've done it step by step. And then to some people, it's just like, nah, you're full of shit. Like, you're doing it because you care. It's like, no, bro, I do not care. It's like, at the end of the day, I can stop posting today, and I'll still keep doing the same thing I'm doing, just not posting it. It's like, and then people are like, oh, why don't you do it? I was like, I just explained right now. I got people that obviously tell me, I'm not making it up. Like, tell me, hey, bro, good shit. You inspired me to go to the gym. I've even had people send me stuff like, hey, this is my progress. What do you think? And I'm just like, why do you care what I think? Like, nah, because you got me into it. So, I forget. Like, sometimes I'd be forgetting. Like, like you have an inspiration towards people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the main areas that, like how you say, is my arms and my chest. My chest, I've always had man boobs. I've always had these chichis. And so I was like, man, I need to like. And it's funny enough that I say that now everybody wants boobs. Like I don't know if you see these influencers, they post the picture of down here, they looking up, and they looks like they got boobs, and I'm like, I had that before I started going to the gym, right? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, like I started working out my chest a lot more, and then my arms. I was 22, son. You know, RIP big. Like I've always wanted big arms. Like just something about it is like, yeah, I got huge. And not to say my arms are the hugest, but to me, it's like, yeah, I have some huge fucking arms. But like I said, it's just sitting there, just curling for half my session, just like to the point where I can't even like touch my shoulders, and even doing shoulder to I can't pick up my arms, and it pays off because there be times where I'm not worried about the gym at sometimes. Sometimes I don't care about it, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh. Shit. Oh, damn. Like, hold the phone. No pump, nothing. And I'm like, okay. All right. It's working. Yeah, it's working. Yes. Like, it's like, oh, it's working. Like, because a lot of people lose that motivation because they're like, it's not working. I don't see anything. It, like you said, it takes time. It takes time. Like, this bonsai right here is not going to go away for another, like, 4 years. I probably undermining myself, but 4 years, I won't probably see this go away, but that's okay. It's all right. It's fine. Like power. I have power right here. That's what a lot of people.
It's a 30-minute camera.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I know, right? Yeah, I was wondering about your big boys out there. I'm sure some of you know. I know a lot of don't. This is all power, bro. This is your core. Because I remember before he was my coach, Brandon Hagar, shout out Hagar Fitness, that's my coach. Love you, man. I was like, hey man, what can I do to like work out my core? Like, I want abs. And he's like, what do you want abs for?
So you want to be pretty or you want to be strong?
Yeah, that's literally what he said. He's like, do you want to be like you want to be hot or you want to be strong? And I was like, I want to be strong. Both. Yeah, I want to be both. And I was like, well, I want to be strong. Yeah. And he was like, look at the strongest man look up a picture of the strongest man in the world. Tell me what you see. Eddie Hall, those type of guys. And I was like, motherfuckers, you got big old panza. He's like, power. Yes, you want core. You want to work out your core. You don't want abs. And I'm like, well, I want abs, but I see what you're saying. But I learned like to embrace the stomach. It's like embrace that core. Because I just started doing core exercises, and just having that, just like I have a fucking big old panza, but it's straight power. There's power to your stomach. Do not think that you having a stomach is like, oh, I'm fat. Like, nah, dog. I'm powerful, son.
I think so. I have not a big, but I always have back and forth conversations with the whole idea, I guess, of like body positivity and what it means, right? Or like, and I think now I've come to a crossroad or like a point where I'm just like, okay, well, I think body positivity in that sense should be like, what, like, who are you? And then what's like the intention and purpose that you're driving towards? Right. And then that's going to reflect on, more so your body. Because I try not to think of like body as like, oh, it's literally just like physically you or physically me. It's like all of you, right? And so something like that where I feel like a lot of stuff on Instagram now is leaning more towards trying to stay lean year round. Right. Try and be as shredded as possible. Like be in the single digits body fat.
The aesthetics.
Blast trend. But no, and I think it's like, look at the sports. Like you said, look at the sports. Look at what they're doing. I'm like, there's a body shape and size for damn near everything. And there's like a very specific purpose. It's like, you ever seen the transformation pictures from like linemen and then after they retire?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They just lose like what looks like 150 pounds. They have like chiseled jaws and everything. It's like,
you were fat. What happened? It's like, I don't need to be anymore.
It was like you were literally like 6'9" and like 430 pounds,
right?
Sprinting down the field.
It's like you said, it's purpose. Like you're a bodybuilder. Yes, you want to be lean. You want to be lean year round. powerlifters. There's powerlifters that there's some of them are cut, some like because they power build. Essentially, what I want to do is I want to look good but be strong as shit. But it's all a sense of purpose. But when it gets to that point where people let themselves go, I'm gonna get some shit for this because I let myself go at one point. But it was just like, like, ew, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you really want to be like this? And then I've always got, not to say I got bullied, but my oldest brother, his thing was be fucking healthy. Don't look like a slob. Because he was, when he was younger, my brother's immigrant from Mexico. He came here. He came to the States. He grew up in the 80s, 90s. But his thing was he was a skinny guy. He was always skinny, but he was skinny, strong. Like, that was my brother's thing. He liked to be strong. And then I remember when I was born, at the time I was born, he was just getting out of high school. He was going to go into the Army. So I was, 4 or 5 at the time, at that stage in life where he was just grinded. Like, my brother was ripped. He used to put protein in my cornflakes type shit. Like, here, eat this. Don't tell my mom. But I was always into that. And then I had cousins, my cousin Tony, my cousin Hector. Who else? And then I played sports. Like, just, I was always around fitness, like health, like be healthy. My cousin Tony and my cousin Hector, these dudes were, like, they still are. They still go to the gym. Like, they're older, much older now. But at the time when I was younger, I would see them. These fools ripped. Like, these fools had arms. 22, son. I was skinny as a kid. I was skinny as a kid. Believe it or not, I was skinny at one point in my life. But I remember I had abs, bro. Like, these dudes made me. My brother would make me do sit-ups. He would make me do planks, do push-ups, go do pull-ups and stuff. And I remember it was funny. Funny enough, now that I'm talking about it, I remember my cousin Hector. He's like, lift up your shirt, fool. Let me see your abs. And I literally had abs. And he's like, yeah. So, and then getting older, your mom, no le hagas caso. Tú hagas lo que quieras. And people that don't know, don't pay attention to them. Do whatever you want. Eat whatever you want. Funny enough, when I did eat whenever I want, and then I got fat, it's like, eres gordo, ¿por qué te comes tanto comida? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and then I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't starve myself, but I wouldn't eat. It's like, oh, you're not eating the food I make. I'm throwing all this food. I'm like, what do you want from me?
I always say that probably one of the hardest things,
fitness in Mexican households
doesn't go together well.
It's good when you bulk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good when you bulk, but when you don't want to eat, they're like, you don't want to eat my food. You're ungrateful. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm trying to lose weight. Why? You look fine. And it's the most toxic thing ever when they're like, te miras bien, estás bien, porque andas enamorado? And I'm like, no,
But they'll say that, and then the other end of the spectrum, they'll say stuff like, gordo.
Yeah, exactly.
Flaco,
yeah,
like
100%. Yeah, because I remember when did I start getting fat? Like 5th and 6th grade. Like 5th, 6th grade. I did football. I still play football. I got into football 6th grade. But I was a lineman. I was like, you're a big boy. Yeah. Oh, you're a big boy. Get on the line. All right, cool, for sure. But yeah, my mom would always be like, come, estás bien. And then her boyfriend at the time would always Jack in a Box. Jack spicy chicken sandwich, motherfucking meal, large, eating like 3 of those a week. My mom making just food. Like, she would just make food. It wasn't unhealthy food. It was homemade food. But I would eat. Yeah. Like, eat. And I'd be like, oh, I'm playing football, so it's fine. I'm exercising. But it got to the point where I got like little fat Mexican kids walking around, and my brother, and then my other brother, Jose, he got big too because he was skinny. He was a skinny kid, and then he got, like, we both at some point in our lives just started getting big. Puberty hit, and we just got fat. And my oldest brother, who would tell us things, you're fucking fat. Like, you have a tire on your stomach. You think girls are going to like that? What is wrong with you? Like, work out. Go to, like, do stuff at home. You don't even need to go to the gym. Just go for a run. Like, why are you guys, like, being like this? And, sorry, Jose. He would not, my brother Jose, he wouldn't take it well. He was like, man, fuck that. He's telling me stuff. Me, on the other hand, was like, damn, he's right. Like, it's true. It's like, why would a girl, like, and then nowadays, it's a norm. Like, you'll see guys that don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they still have a girlfriend. It's like, yeah, that's cool. That's great. That's amazing. Like, for me, though, I want to be in the best shape possible for me. I don't care if it's for my girl. I don't care if it's for my family. It's for me. At the end of the day, I want to look good because I want to look good. I don't care what other people think. People always think like, oh, you look good and like you put other people down. It's like, no, why wouldn't you want to be the best version of yourself? Like, why?
I forgot who told me this, but they said that you should be like a preacher essentially for something that you believe in well.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is that a lot of people are going to disagree with you. And I always use like the example of religion because it's an easy one for people to pick. Like you always think of like, Mormon or Jehovah's Witness, like, door-to-door knocking.
Right.
It's just they're just trying to give their message to somebody else, all right? Or we'll keep it at that. I'm not
Right.
But when you feel like so good about yourself because you understand the actions that you're putting in, you understand the effort that you're putting in, and you see the results that you're getting both physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't anybody else want to feel like this? The contrast is then people are like, well, why would you want to put your lifestyle on me?
Right.
Why what's wrong with me? Why? And it's never like that.
It's not what's wrong with you. It's just like, that's a good question that people ask. Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
What do you think is wrong with me? So I'm not saying anything's wrong with you. I'm just saying you, in a sense, don't want what's best for you when you let yourself go. It's like, well, what if that's what I want? What if that's what I think is best for me? It's like, trust me, it's not. Because then you got diabetes. You got all these things that come with being, on a big, that's genetics. Okay, it is, but you don't see people that are on diabetes continue to go that way. They'll have a change. They will change because they have to. But, if it doesn't run in your family, you still let it get to that. You can develop diabetes. You can develop these illnesses and these things that you get from being obese. And then the whole obese thing, the word obese, I go to the doctor now as fit as I am now, or working out. That's like, you're fat, you're still obese. And it's like, so obese is a weird term. But yeah, it's I've always, and people always tell me like, oh, we're not even in that great of shape. And I was like, you want to go for a run? Like, see who lasts longer? You want to go lift and see who will last longer? Not saying who lifts heavier, it's just who will last longer. I was like, oh, it's not even about that. I was like, okay, then what is it about? Are you just ashamed to say that, yes, I've let myself go? Like, just, it's okay. Like, it's fine to be like, yeah, I let myself go. Yeah, I'm not in the best shape. I'm not healthy. I was like, it's fine. I feel like people get into this, like, fight mode. It was like, oh, I'm perfectly fine the way I am. Stop lying to yourself.
No, it's a fun thing. It's like the old saying where it's like, you don't talk about religion, politics, or money with people. And now it's like religion, politics, money, and health.
Yeah, health, 100%. Because that's funny that you say that, because I was just talking about this. I forgot who it was. But like politics. Everybody talks about it now. Before I was like, oh, we don't talk about that. And then religion, my thing about religion, it's not about religion, but it's about relationship. Like, I have my relationship with God. I before I started going to church, a lot of people recently have been like, oh, now all of a sudden you go to church. Now all of a sudden you're preachy and, you're a Jesus freak. And it's like, no, I was doing it way before I started going to church. Like, I got on my hands and knees and asked God, I need you to show me what I'm doing wrong. I need your help. Like, I need you. And I truly accepted him as my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And when it comes to that, people always be like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, that's crazy talk. Oh, you're saying that God talks to you this and this and that. You know who else they thought was crazy? They thought Jesus was crazy, dog. But he died and rose from the dead. How are you going to say that I'm crazy? If he lives through me, he lives in me. And through me, I've spread it. But when it comes to, like how you said, health and fitness, it's the same thing. Oh, now you're a gym rat, or you're crazy about health, and this and that. It's like, but why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you want to be? Oh, you're fat phobic. Sorry, yeah, I am. Even though I have this, yeah, I don't want this. I don't want to be like this. So, sorry, yeah, I kind of am. And they hurts their feelings. Oh, your feelings don't matter. Sorry. your feelings don't matter when it comes to you, in a sense, destroying yourself. Like, if you want to be real about it, being fat, you're destroying yourself. You're deteriorating yourself. I had a bad back, and when I was fat, it was worse, bro. It hurt to stand. It hurt to sit. It hurt to lay down. When I lost weight, a lot of my back pain went away. A lot of things go away in the sense when you lose weight, when you get healthier.
It's about setting that new baseline over time.
Right.
I try to tell people a lot too when they're intimidated by either the start of their fitness journey, or maybe they're going into it and they're starting to notice some changes, and they say, "Oh, I didn't know I could feel this good," or "I didn't even realize like that I had this pain because it was always there." So at this point, they ignored it, and now it's just gone.
It's gone.
And they didn't even notice when it left. They just noticed, wait, I haven't had to like do that extra stretch in the morning or stuff like that. And I told them, I was like, the baseline that you were at before was your normal. It's your baseline. So everything that you do is surrounded by that baseline, right? It's not going to change. As you make those changes in your life, which of course, hopefully for the better, you're going to notice that new baseline and start to wonder, how was I like living with all of this chronic pain and like going to work and being okay? And you start to realize like kind of the stories that you've told yourself about like, oh, this is just how things are, or this is just how I am.
Right.
Because I feel as if a lot of people like to just play as like, me as an individual have these things, therefore I can't do X, Y, or Z.
Right.
When in reality, it's like the same issue that you have, I can almost guarantee thousands of people have. And something that recently helped me get through even like my own mental blocks of that is realizing just like, is it something that I can work on? Yes. Sick. Is it something that I can't? Cool. Let it go.
Right.
That's the extent you can do.
Yep.
And you also start to realize how many things in your life you can take control of.
Yes. 100%.
And I think something that not a lot of people talk about is also like the onset guilt that you get after making progress. And you're like, oh, like
I could have done this way sooner.
I want to say is a dude named Andy Frisella. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but somebody called into his show and said, I feel guilty about the stuff that I did in my past now that I'm, doing much better. He's like, good. The more that you progress and the better that you get about living your own life and living your own like true fulfillment, you're going to realize that, yeah, all the shit you did in the past, you should regret. You should think that it was really fucking dumb and that it was a stupid decision.
Yes.
Because the person you are now would probably never do those things. But you also can't
100%.
hold yourself and be like, oh, you're a terrible person or all this stuff. You have to get past that. But it's okay to look back and be like,
Right.
I might not have been the best.
That's funny. I was telling myself this before I got here. It's okay to reminisce. It's not okay to dwell and sit there. That's why I say like fitness correlates with life, because when you start to see that, you start at least with your body, you're like, oh, and then you feel guilt. But then you can do that with a lot of things, like just the choices you make, not just food, not just going to the gym, just choices you make. The thoughts you have, because after a gym session, you feel great. Like, you're not thinking about nothing bad. You're like, I just did this. I feel amazing. What can I do next? You get that motivation to keep going, building that momentum. Whereas if you don't go to the gym, you have to find something to do that. And it's like pretty hard sometimes. It's like, it's easy to go to the gym. People are like, oh, it's not easy. Yes, it is. Just go. Just get to the gym, do something. Doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes. But because I used to have that same guilt. It's like, man, I knew I could do this. I knew that I was able to go to the gym. Why didn't I do it before? But I also give myself that pep talk. Like, bro, you're doing it now. That's cool. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The next best time is now. I forgot who says that. I think Joe Rogan said it. But it's like, you can't sit there and think, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? It's like, well, you're doing it now. Appreciate that you're doing it now. Yes, you can think about it. Yes, you can accept and be like, okay, yes, I was messing up before, but now I'm doing better. Move on. Let go. Because if you sit there and dwell on the past, it's like you're not really moving forward. You're still thinking about everything in the past. And there's one thing when it comes to God and that relationship is the devil will keep you in the past because there's something in the future he doesn't want you to see. So he will put in your mind, think about your past. Think about all the fucked up shit you did. Think about all the bad decisions you made. You sit there, you think about it, you're like, oh. And then you get depressed. And then you're just like, oh, man, oh, my gosh, I was such a bad person. Like, and I say this from experience because I used to do this a lot. Very much so. I used to do this all the time. And I used to sit there and be like, wow, man. Like, and it was the gym, like me working out or my past self, like the things I used to do. And I'd sit there and I'd be getting mad at myself. I'd be depressed. Oh, you're talk bad about myself. I'm not saying this to myself now, but it's like, oh, you're an idiot or you're dumb. Like, why would you even do that? But when you learn to let it go and just be like, that's not me no more. That's not me. Like, I can truly say that is not me no more. And when you move past it, all that goes away. All that depression, all that anxiety. And people were like, oh, that's a load of shit. And I was like, try it. Really let it out. Yes, let it out. Get it out of your system. Cry about it. It's okay to cry. It's fine.
Oh,
cry.
100%.
100%. Like, I used to think this way. It's crazy enough to say that I used to think like, don't cry. Like, growing up, it was, what the fuck you crying about? You're a man. Stop crying. Be a little bitch.
Just all machismo.
Yeah, all the Mexican machismo or just men that in general machismo is like, what are you crying about? You know, let it out, bro. Let that shit out.
I'd say one thing that I've learned fairly recently is vulnerability, being able to cry openly, and having an amazing woman by your side. You feel unstoppable.
Oh, 100%.
Like things will happen. You might, buy stuff or get stuff, and that's cool. But like that foundation of like yourself, that's definitely a lot more on the spiritual aspect of everything. You feel unstoppable.
100%.
And I kind of want to piggyback or take a back step on the whole faith thing and having that relationship, like you said, is I learned something from a dude that I used to work with. His name was Kelly. And I forgot what. There was some lady that was going off on somebody else and saying that God wouldn't approve of you in the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah,
very bold statement to say.
Very bold statement.
From someone who isn't God.
But then I said, I said openly, I was like, dude, it's always like the really religious people that are just like, like they always infuriate me. And he's like, well, you got to understand the difference between religion and faith. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, religion just means that you belong to a group of people that understand the same ideals.
Right.
Doesn't mean that they fulfill them. They understand because they might read out of the same scripture or whatever. People that are faithful can belong to no religion, but they have that faith that whoever they believe in, whatever they believe in, is the one and true creator, God. A lot of people now like to say, the universe.
Right.
But they've given themselves up to that and understand that whatever I do is in step and in line with, them. Those are the people that are truly like enlightened, I'd say, or feel that spirituality, because there's a difference between feeling as if you're going to be punished for the things that you do because of who you believe in.
Right.
And there's a difference in knowing that person has nothing but love for you and understands who you are.
Who you are, exactly. This is not my take on it, but the take on it. Jesus loves you, bro. He died for us. He literally was perfect. That's what it says in the Bible. He was perfect. He did no sin. No sin at all. God put him in this world and said, you know what? I need to be down there, so I'm going to put my son down there. Me. He is the son. He walked this earth for 33 years, doing no sin. He was perfect. Shouldn't have been punished, right? No, he should not have been nailed to the cross, crucified, because he was perfect. He did no sin. But he walked the earth. He saw how terrible everything was. And he knew, oh, my dad's going to punish all of these people. I need to save them. I need to show them how to live in his image, in my image, so that way they can make it to him and be forgiven. But it's not going to be enough. So what, from what I've understood. I'm still learning. There's a lot of the big thing I'm telling people when it comes to my faith. I am still learning. I don't know everything. It's just what I understand and what I've read and what I've come to an understanding, because I still every day read my Bible. There's days where I don't read it, and it's not that I feel bad. It's just like, okay, I need to catch up. But he literally was perfect, saw the world was terrible, and said, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice myself for the world, everybody in the world. And everybody that followed him he told them, I got to go. Like, I got to leave. I have to leave all of you to give you something greater than me. And people are like, oh, what's great? What could be greater than you? God gets crucified. Even the people that are nailing him to the cross, he forgave them. You'd think, people are killing me right now, I'm going to forgive them? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. It's okay. What you don't know now, you'll understand later. The blood of Jesus Christ signifies the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. And that's what he was telling people. I'm giving you the Holy Spirit so that way I can live within you. But it's up to you to spread my word, my wisdom. And you can do that because I'm inside of you. You just have to look for me. You just have to let me in, because God is a gentleman. He's going to knock at your door. I'm right here, man. You need my help? I'm right here. You got to let me in, though. I'm not going to just come into your world and be like, yeah, I'm going to fix everything. Nope. So when it comes to faith and religion, like, because when I was little, I went to church with my mom all the time, raised Catholic, baptized Catholic as a kid. I just recently got saved. I got baptized in the Christian church. But I used to go to church, and I used to think the same thing. Like, oh, these people that go to church, they put on this persona of I'm perfect. Oh, they're so great. But then outside of church, they are terrible people. Not to say all of them. No. But the ones that I've seen, I was like, oh, my God, what is wrong with this lady? Like, what is wrong with you? And then, like, the experience I had was to the point where I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to church anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be around these people, because it's like, I don't want to. This is not for me. And not to say I lost my faith, but it's just like I lost that religion. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. But, you can't do it alone. That's the big thing about the church. It's like, yes, it's the church, religion and faith, but it does say in the Bible, you can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. You can't. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, because you still have God with you, but you got to have people there that are sharing that same faith. So it's always a touchy thing, because a lot of people don't go towards or don't dig deep into their faith because they've had experiences with religion, and they always want to connect the two. It's like, no, you can't connect religion to faith, because you got to have that relationship. If you don't have a relationship with God, you can go to church all you want, and you still won't know what they're saying. You still don't know what they're talking about. You still won't understand it. But because you go to church, you think, well, I'm doing something right. It's like, are you though? Are you really? Are you going outside and preaching the word of God like it said you need to? You need to spread the light of God. You need to spread his wisdom and his word. And like I said, not to say we're perfect, but it's about progression. Because I'm not perfect. I still sin. But am I working towards trying not to? 100%. Like, I've been trying to just change my ways for the better. And people are like, oh, what are you scared? What have you done before all of a sudden for you to get into your faith? What did you do? Like, you did something wrong. The same thing they did with Job, is like, it's not the fact that I did something wrong. It's the fact that I want to do better moving forward. So, I used to drink a lot. I used to smoke. I used to do a bunch of bad stuff. And people would think, oh, Beto doing bad stuff? Like, yeah, a lot of people don't. That's why I'd say, like, a lot of people don't know me. Like, I've done stuff that I'm not proud of. Drinking was one of the biggest things to let go of, not because it was hard, but because that's what helped me forget about everything. Like, that's what a lot of people do it for. They drink to forget. And I always have this thing. It was like, oh, you don't know how to control your drinking. Oh, I don't know how to control it. That's not my intentions to drinking. I'm not going to drink to control. I'm not going to drink to catch a buzz. No, I'm drinking to get fucked up. Like, I'm drinking to not remember your face by the end of this night. oh, that's bad. Yes, yes, it is bad. No, God, literally. I always have this conversation with certain people, and they're always like, oh, like that's bad. Like you don't know how to control yourself. No, I don't. So that's why I don't drink. Well, you never wanted. No. It runs in my family. Alcoholism. My dad was an alcoholic and a drug addict. I have family members that I don't know if they accept it or if they don't know or if they just don't. They want to be blind to it. Are alcoholics, functioning alcoholics. It's like, why would I want that for myself? Like, and the thing in the Bible, the Word of God is a sober mind is, I forgot the actual saying, but to be sober is to think clearly. Because when you're not sober, you're not thinking clearly. You're thinking, your thinking is not there. You're just not who you are. Yeah. You're not your true self when you're drunk. People always try to say like, oh yeah, there's the truth serum. You are who you really are when you're drunk.
I hate that saying.
Yeah, I never liked it. And I used to think the same thing. Like, oh yeah, I said no, it's not you. That's not who you are. But when it comes to that, that's why when I started getting into the Word, and I didn't think that before the whole sober mind thing. I was just like, I just need to stop drinking because gym. Oh, I'm getting fat because I drink beer, and But no, and I read that and I was like, ooh, like, eesh. And you start to reminisce like all those times where I was drinking and doing all this stuff, and dude, my mom used to pick me up. I'd be blackout drunk. My mom used to pick me up crying, and I remember it because it's stuck in my head, and she's even told me. And when I read that, and I think back to those times, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wonder what I was saying to my mom at that time. Like I wonder what was said. I don't remember. She doesn't tell me. She's like, I don't want you to remember. I don't want you to know. Not to say it, I mean, maybe it was bad, maybe it was good, but she's just like, that's in the past. That's what she's telling me. It's in the past. Yeah, no, that's too. But when it comes to getting into your faith, it tells you that wickedness that you have, I'm not gonna know who you are. When it comes to die, when you want it, you're gonna get judged. You come up to God, and He's gonna look back and be like, "Oh, okay. Drinking, smoking, lying, deceitfulness, all this," and then you're pleading, "Oh, let me in. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. You didn't follow my instruction that I gave you." It was like. And people always want to be like, oh, well, I did good, this and that. But did you do what he told you to do? What he had written, did you do it? No. It's like, and again, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect person. There are so many times where I'm at the store and I look at the beer and I'm like, I want a beer. Or when people are smoking around me, it's like, fuck, I want to hit it. Like, But then I put it in my mind as like, that's not who I am anymore. God took that away from me to show me you never needed it in the first place, because look who you are now when you don't have it. And I look at myself now, like before with drinking, I was drinking every weekend, and then I wake up, oh, fuck, I'm hungover. I don't want to go to work because I'm hungover. I don't want to go to work because I want to go to the bar or drink, or I want to go party, or I want to smoke. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to the gym. At the time when I was still going, I barely started my fitness journey, I was still drinking. I don't want to go to the gym because I'm hungover. I have a hangover. And if I go to the gym, that's not going to matter because it's just empty calories that I'm burning. It's not going to matter. But faith, I feel for a lot of people, is they're looking at it the wrong way just because they think, oh, if I want to get close to God, I got to go to church. No, man. Just what he sees in secret is what he'll reward you for. Because you can do everything in publicly, go out and preach and do all this stuff. But it's what you do in secret, what you do behind closed doors is what God is going to be like, all right, yeah, I remember you getting on your knees and praying. I remember what you did, help this person without having to tell a bunch of people, oh, hey, guys, yeah, I'm giving so-and-so this, it's like I always hated that. Deep down inside, for the longest thing I remember, I see videos like that, and I'm just like, You
It's
could have
virtue signaling. You're
Yeah.
trying to get
Like a-
some sort of praise for yourself out of it.
right, like feel good stories. They're cool and all, but it's like just do it without having to.
It's
do
like the
that.
whole idea where it's like, if I buy 30 McChickens and give them out, maybe I can get 300,000 views.
right.
If that translates to money, the dividends
Yeah,
for yourself is
exactly.
the end goal here,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I guess, trying not to be contradictory to the statement itself, as like every once in a while, like if I have spare change or stuff like that, or like that, and I'm in line to buy something, I'll be like, oh, here, and I'll pay for somebody's meal behind me or stuff like that. But I always feel super uncomfortable because I'm like, I want to give this person either some money or a sandwich or whatever it is. But then I'm like, I don't want it to be, I never want it to be like, oh, I'm doing this so
I can feel good.
I can feel good or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And I almost feel just like, here. And then I like run away. It's like when you're in like school for the first time and like, you're just like, you go to a girl, you're like, I think you're cute. And then you like, run off.
Yeah, nah, for sure. It's gonna feel uncomfortable because you're not used to it,
Mhm.
or like you say, you don't want to do it for the wrong reasons. But when deep down, when you know what you're doing it for, you don't have the sense of like, I'm doing this because I want to feel good. No, you're doing this because I'm serving a purpose. It doesn't feel that way, because I used to feel that same way. I stopped like giving homeless people money. Well, they're just gonna go and buy drugs, this and this and that, and so I just stopped. It's like, because then I did understand at one point I did it to feel good about myself. Like, oh yeah, I just gave them money, cool, good karma. Nah, I don't believe in karma. So yeah, like the whole giving to get back is not, because you will get it back, but don't give because that's why that shouldn't be the reason you're giving, because you want something out of it. You just give, just willingly give to people because you know other people need it.
I think that's the driving reason for most of my content per se, is I'm like in the thought process of like, if this can help one or two people out, like
Cool.
that's all I really care about.
Right.
And then that gets rid of like the negative voices, I guess, of being like, well, why do you post so much or this? And even sometimes I'm like I don't necessarily want to post stuff of me shirtless, but it gets more views and stuff like that. But then also it seems like every single time I have a doubt where I'm like, we don't know, I'll get like a comment or a DM that's like, thanks, or like, I need
Hey man,
this
you're
or whatever.
inspired.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right, like keep it pushing.
for sure.
Because I've told my lady this plenty of times. I was like deep inside, like if social media wasn't a thing, I'd be a ghost.
Right. 100%.
But I learned to not be camera shy and to do this and to make a podcast and everything like that. Well, it seems like my dad's grilling it. It smells delicious.
It smells amazing.
Um,
Take 2 of whatever he's making.
But I think like that purpose is one of the biggest drives I have.
Right.
But
You never know what people are going through, bro.
no.
Never. And it's wild because I've gotten DMs. Hey, bro, like a paragraph saying, you helped me. You know, you don't even know me, and you've gotten me into the gym. Like I said, they sent me videos or pictures of progress, and I'm just like, who is this person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like, I'll reply like, oh, bro, like that's dope. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, I helped this person. Not, and it makes me, yes, it makes me feel good, and it contradicts to what I was saying earlier. But it's just like, who am I to do that? Like, why would he come? Like, why would he use me as an inspiration? So when it comes, like, again, to faith, when you live a life, because it correlates to a lot of things. When you live a life of faith, it brings people closer to it. Because it's like, not to say when things are going great for me, that's when I praise, and that's when people see like, oh, well, everything's going great for him and he believes in God. It's like, no, I don't want you guys to think that's why I do it. Like, just be a good person. Like, just be a person that you want other people to be like. And that's what Christ wanted. I want people to be like me. So live like me so other people can see me through you, so that way they can live like me as well, and they can go and spread it to whoever else they have in their circle. And that correlates to fitness. That correlates to whatever you do it with that intent of, I'm doing it because, yes, I'm doing it for me, but do it right, because you never know who's watching you. You never know. You could save somebody's life and you wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably will never tell you. They'll probably will never tell you. They'll just be like, they'll like your stuff. Or they'll be like, hey, good job, man. But they'll never, you might as well, stop somebody from killing themselves. Like, it's crazy. And you never know. But don't do it to think, I'm doing this because I know I'm going to do it. No, I'm just doing it. But just know that people are watching you all the time. Whether it's a hater, whether it's somebody that you inspire, or whether it's just somebody who's scrolling. They can be scrolling, and then they stop on your video and they're like, maybe I should start getting into that. Or let me see what this guy's about. And they see your content and just like, maybe that could be the change for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you just never know. But
nah, man,
that's crazy.
I think that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good place to start wrapping up. But with the heavy stuff that you're saying right now, I think you should talk about the shirt.
Heavy. Heavy. Yeah. Speaking on heavy stuff. This right here, heavy, is me. A lot of people have been asking, like, hey, where do you get these shirts? This is me right here. I don't make them, but I get these made. This is my brand, Heavy. I started this brand a couple months ago, actually. I was explaining to Daniel, our friend Josh, he has his own brand, Sinners and Forgivers, and then, he has the connections with wholesale and everything. And he gave me a shirt for helping him with season 2, and I wore it to the gym one day. Oh, I love the way I looked in that shirt. The shoulders, just the way the shirt felt. It was like a heavyweight shirt. And I was like,
beautiful.
The pump cover is like the ultimate pump cover. So I was like, this is sick. And then one day I was like, man, I want a shirt like this, but I don't want to ruin my Sinners shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit up Josh. Hey, bro, I need some shirts. I need a shirt. Like I want a Sinners shirt, but without the Sinners, because I want to keep that one and not take it to the gym, get sweat all over it and whatever. It's like, yeah. And then I remember I was at work one day. I was with my coworker. It was a night shift. And I was thinking, like, we're going to put on this shirt. I don't want to just be a blank shirt. Like, I want to make something. I want to start something. And I was like, well, I'm always at the gym. I was like, make pump covers. Fuck it. Just make a pump cover. See what happens. So I told my coworker, hey, I want to start I'm thinking about starting like a gym clothes brand. Like, I want to make pump covers. I was like, what should I name it? I was like, I want it to be sick. And he was like, just keep it simple, Heavy. And I was like, he was like, you lift heavy, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, you're a heavy dude. I'm like, hey, watch it. I was like, hey. He's like, no. He's like, you're big, you're heavy, and you lift heavy. It's like, just put heavy. It's simple. It's catchy. It's simple. It's easy to remember. And I was like, fuck it. So I text Josh, hey, I'm gonna put Heavy on the shirt. And the first shirts I had, it wasn't these. These aren't the first ones. I have some that are one of ones. No, I don't think a lot of people have. I think my nephew has one. A couple other people, but not a lot of people have it. But it was like Essentials fault. It just said Heavy. And then Josh was like, hey, are you gonna mask this? Are you gonna make this big, or is it just for you? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, if you need shirts, I got you. Like, I have the connection. And I was like, fuck, I might as well. I'm always at the gym. People, like, I wore the shirt, the Heavy shirt, and I was like, oh, like, where'd you get that? And I was like, oh, it's mine. I was like, oh, dude, if you ever make more, let me know. I'll buy some. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, okay, cool. And so I was like, fuck it. I made these. I was like, I want to make it look like the gym, like grungy, like kind of like whatever. But it didn't really matter. It's just design is design. It's going to change all the time. But I have a drop coming soon. It's in the works. I already put the order in. Working on the website. It's going to be the Heavy V1 pump cover. So it has Heavy here. I guess I can get up and model. Or I can just send you pictures of it. But there's Heavy and then Heavy on the back. And I also have the Heavy mesh shorts. So that's going to be the first drop. Sit back down and get in my position. That's going to be the first drop. I was going to do 2 shirts, but I just kept it to the one because a lot of people were asking about this one. So be on the lookout. I'll send Daniel a link That way he can share it on the podcast. But be on the lookout for Heavy, man, because I'm gonna make some moves. They're gonna be pop-ups. I want to do like pop-ups at different gyms, and then like with the vlog, I want to go to different gyms and work out, not just stay at my gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, Heavy. Be on the lookout for it. It's been in the works for a while now. I'm excited for the drop. Shout out to Josh by Joshua Cevallos, my brother. That's my dog right there. We go back. We're going forward. Daniel, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate
this
having you on,
podcast
brother.
is great. You guys tune in to Daniel, man. Don't sleep on him. This thing's gonna be big. He's got a lot of stuff going in works. This guy's a fucking dog. Daniel, dog. Dog.
Thank you, brother. Pleasure having you
Oh
on.
yeah, man. I appreciate you. I don't know if you're gonna do an outro or something, but I
don't
think I
really
kind
know.
of just did it for you.
Yeah, he got it. He nailed it.
Maybe I should start a podcast. Nah.
But yeah, I guess that's it. We'll call it a wrap.
Yeah, for sure. Tell your mom I said hi. Nah.